Hey, this is Hayden Gillum. Thanks for watching MotoAmerica on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yesterday, Cam Peterson wasn't going to be denied. Here he goes, Petrucci. He's trying to find some room. A little bit of contact. He pushes him wide. Cam Peterson not getting off of it.
Yeah, I just did everything I could, and I fought back with everything I had, and I wasn't going to let him have that one. I needed to go 1-2 today.
And that determination has helped his teammate Jake Gagne close to within 2 of championship leader Danilo Petrucci. Can Gagne finally occupy the top spot, or will Petrucci extend his lead? We find out right now on FS2. You're locked into the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. Our round, GEICO Motorcycle Superbike Speedfest at Monterey. Beautiful California coast here in Central California as we set the stage for Medallia Superbike race number 2 from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca right here in Monterey, California. Hello everyone and welcome to a beautiful sunny day and welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White standing alongside Jason Pridmore, 2-time world champ. Now Jason, this championship has closed up to basically next to nothing, those 2 points, and Jake Gagne is on a roll right now.
Momentum, it's a big thing, Greg. 6 wins on the year now for Gagne after giving a handful of points away, really a bucket load of points away at the beginning of the season. But he comes in here really hot again, Greg, and yesterday from that 3rd spot on the grid, he was able to take the lead in turn 1. You can see the gap was already starting to form as they came out of turn 2. And essentially, Greg, he takes off and gets out front to leave these 2 guys to battle, and what a battle it was. First, Cam Peterson made a mistake in turn 2, then Petrucci makes a mistake up in the corkscrew on the very same lap. But on the last lap, these 2 had a big coming together in the corkscrew. They raced all the way hard down to the checkered flag as they went through rainy curve there. But Gagne, again, with another big 25 points in the bank.
And for that 25 points, here's the championship spread. So Petrucci with 2 points ahead of Gagne. Matthew Skult's right there as well with 170. Cam P continues to climb his way up the leaderboard. And it's that 9 podiums for Danilo Petrucci that has him on top of the board. Now, let's go to the grid with Hannah, who's with Danilo Petrucci.
And Greg, we're back at a race that Petrucci knows and is familiar with on our calendar. After yesterday's 20-lap race, he had a good idea of how the tires would perform toward the end of the race, and today, a different tire choice. What inspired that change?
I hope it will change the behavior of the bike, but yeah, it will be tough anyway. We will try. For sure, all our challengers are so fast, so we will need our 101% to stay in front. We will try, and hopefully we're gonna find lucky yesterday.
Best of luck out there. Thanks, guys.
So Jason, you know, right now he's kind of demure in his conversation, but we know that Petrucci wants to put it out front early. He wants to disrupt the flow of Jake Gagne, and that's really the key to it all.
I came in here saying that I feel like Danilo has to win a race here, or Cam, or Matthew, to try to kind of stop what Jake is doing, and it's really important. And I think the fact that he's gone with another tire choice today isn't so much of a gamble. It's an educated guess of trying to be closer to Gagne at the beginning of these races.
And Hannah's still on the grid with Richie Escalante.
As Richie's a rookie to the Superbike class, he's still getting acclimated riding these big bikes at new tracks that are familiar to you, but you've made steady progress. This is your best weekend so far. What is it that's really working for you?
Yeah, so far this weekend I make a big step. I come to the race with a lot of confidence. The plan all this time is to just do a little bit more laps to understand a little bit better the bike, and right now my crew, my team working amazing, so I have a good to finish on the podium. So I hope today I'm start the same like yesterday, and I just push until the last lap. So I'm super happy to be here, and I try my best.
Richie Escalante is still looking for that first Superbike podium, guys.
Oh, and today could be the day for Escalante and that Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki, because they are working WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in a really great way. Jason, let's take a look at this racetrack.
Yeah, real quick, up over turn 1, down into turn 2 there, into those flat turns that are so key. Again, Greg, up from 5 all the way up to turn 8 is a big uphill grind, and then down through Rainy Corner into turn 10 and 11. Back onto that front straightaway, Laguna Seca. You don't need to do much other than look at that diagram and know where you are.
It is so awesome. All right, now we get to bring in Roger Hayden, who's going to take us for a more intimate look at this racetrack with his Ducati Fast Lap.
I'm on my 2022 Ducati V4S. You can't come to Laguna Seca and not talk about the corkscrew. The The run to the corkscrew actually starts with getting a good run out of turn 6 to carry your momentum as the track goes uphill toward the corkscrew. It's blind on your way up, so you got to use your reference points to be sure you're on the right line. You want to get most of your braking done while you're straight up and down. Trail braking into the corkscrew, that is a 3-story drop. Hitting on the throttle as soon as possible to get a good run into turn 9, rainy curve. And it's a fast downhill left-hander, so you have to be careful not to get pushed in.
All right, thanks, Roger. And how about your pole sitter, Matthew Skoltz? Some changes to the bike, a fresh set of Dunlops, and he's ready to rock and roll. But there's the man on the mission right now, Jake Gagne. He's got the pace. Who's going to put a stop to this run? We'll find out. Race start in 5 minutes.
So many great storylines that are going to be playing out in this second race here for the Medallia Superbike class, Roger. I mean, obviously this one with Matt Skoltz on pole. Struggled in the first qualifying session after being really fast in practice, reverted to the P1 setup on the bike with some minor changes, came back out, stuck it on pole, and then had problems, obviously a sensor or a tire warmer failing, had problems with grip at the rear of the bike. We went with a little harder tire in that first race, came back to salvage top 5. It's been an up and down ride for him this weekend, but man, he's fast. He's just got to string it together.
Yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing to have that issue in yesterday's race, but luckily he didn't DNF, and he ended up getting 5th, soldiered on, and got some points. And, I know he wanted to translate that pole position into something more, and today he's going to have that opportunity, and hopefully they don't have no issues. But you could tell right away when that race started yesterday, something in the back end just wasn't right, and I heard you in the warm-up this morning mention there was a tire warmer issue, so maybe they get that sorted out for today.
Well, he felt pretty confident that the tire choice was a good one. It just didn't perform without that early heat in it. Petrucci, obviously somebody, as we heard Jason Pridmore say, has got to do something to stop the Gagne juggernaut here in these opening laps. Cameron Peterson certainly has shown that kind of speed. We know Danilo's capable, but somebody's just got to do it.
And that's the thing, really, to be honest, we haven't seen Jake Gagne really come from like third, out of the first turn. He always gets a good start, and he leads out of the first turn, and he's, the race is over after 3 laps. So let's see if these guys that qualified better than him can have a really aggressive, good first couple laps and change his race rhythm. He can get in his rhythm right away and, see if they can't disrupt that.
And somebody has got to stop him from getting the hole shot here and just sort of fade left a little bit and pinch him maybe to get in front. And then, as you said, disturb that rhythm. We saw the 99 there. We had a shot at him. Obviously, Jeff May talked to him after the warm-up this morning, and his left hand, the back of his left hand, is still really, really swollen. And he said that plus the other issues, he said what's really affecting him here is, he said, it hurts like hell on the left-handers. Well, guess what? There's 7 of them here, only 4 of the rights. So he's really feeling it.
I guarantee it, this track is really physical. It might not look like that on TV, but not a lot of long straightaways to rest. You're always kind of wrestling the bike, especially on these super bikes and 1000s. So he's soldiering on and gritting his teeth. So hopefully today, after this weekend, get through today and he gets a little break to get rested up.
There you go. It's exactly what he needs. Get a little bit healthy and then come back, as we know Jeff May can, for the latter part of this season. Bikes working their way around on the installation lap here at Laguna Seca.
Medallia Superbike coverage is sponsored by Medallia, the pioneer in customer and employee experience. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by GEICO, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance.
Starting grid for Medallia Superbike race number 2. Matthew Skoltz was on pole with Petrucci and Gagne in your front row.
Then we have Peterson, Hector Barbara, and Richie Escalante. On back to Jacobson, Gillum, and Alexander with Jeff May, Ashton Yates, and Kyle Wyman filling in for Jake Lewis there on that Vision Wheel M4 bike. Bryce Prince, Dave Anthony Pegram, Wyman, Flinders, and Ezra Bobier. Debrino, Andrew Lee, Brandon Posh, Danilo Lewis, Jeremy Coffey, Hunter Dunham on row number 8. We have Nolan Lampkin, Jack Backen, and Dallas Sherman are going to round out the grid here, row 9.
So many riders came out here to try to qualify for this Medallia Superbike race, but because Matthew Skoltz had such a blistering time in qualifying, 27 were able to qualify.
Again, that's a hard spot for Gagne to come from that first row. He told me today the R1 gets off the line great, so let's see what happens.
20 laps for Medallia Superbike race number 2. We're away, and it looked like Petrucci got a really good start from the middle of the front row. There goes Gagne up the inside again. And look at Cameron Peterson trying to go around the outside. A little bit of wheelie for him on his Yamaha R1. So it looks like it's going to be Gagne, Petrucci. Boy, Gagne held up Petrucci breaking down into turn number 2. But now it's about that acceleration and drive out of the corner.
And this is where Petrucci is going to do everything he can to hang on. Let's see if this tire change that he made is going to make a difference for the number 9. Skoltz is up to 4th. Good to see that. He's up there a little bit closer in the start of this second race, with Escalante right behind him in 5th at the moment, but Gagne just creeping away. Greg, yesterday it was 0.9, I believe, at the end of lap 1. Let's see what it will be at the end of lap 1 today, as Petrucci's doing a pretty good job here, as well as Cam Peterson. Look at the drive out of there. You see how he let that bike run through turn 6? He just let the bike roll right on through the middle of turn 6 and created this huge gap as they go into the corkscrew. The number 1 on his way.
Turn 6 was a difference maker already for Jake Gagne. I mean, that was incredible, the amount of time he made up in that corner.
And how he got down into Rainey corner, just straight lining that bike all the way down into Rainey, through turn 10 now. And as they break for turn 11, he's already got probably a, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 bike length lead. And he's already applying that pressure that we talked about at the beginning. These guys know he's not coming back to him. So they've got to go after him from the start. And right now, at the end of lap 1, Greg, it's going to be 0.8 of a second between the two guys that were battling for 2nd and 3rd yesterday. Gagne has opened up 0.8 already.
Oh, and it looks like Cameron Peterson. Oh, what a save!
And Skoltz. They both went out wide.
Yeah, but Peterson was down and another rider down behind him. But I mean, Cameron Peterson had completely tucked the front on his fresh and lean progressive Yamaha. What a tremendous save by the 45. All the while, the drama going on behind him. Petrucci doesn't know it either. All he has his eyes forward on that number 1 bike. So the Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati New York rider Danilo Petrucci on that Ducati Panigale V4R.
Bryce Prince is the one that we saw go down in the background there in turn number 2. So happy to see him up. Petrucci doing his best right now to try to keep that guy in sight at the front. So it doesn't look like it's gotten that much bigger.
It doesn't, but Gagne's going to look at his pit board when he comes by. He's going to assess the situation. Look at the save, Jay. Look at him tuck the front.
Oh,
he's gone right there.
Yeah, he was. And I was looking at Skoltz when you said that, so I didn't see that at the start. So we're going to see that front end just continue to push, and he snaps back up underneath him. It allowed Richie Escalante to get up to 3rd place. So we'll have to see if he's been able to sustain that. He has. The 54 has sustained that 3rd place, holding off those R1s behind him. I really believe the key to Richie Escalante's weekend, G-Dub, was how good he was on Friday right off the bat. He unloaded that bike and looked quick on that Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki, and he just continues to try to progress and move forward. It's 1 second exactly, so Petrucci only lost 2/10 that last lap by.
23-4.
Wow.
For Jake Gagne. Fastest race lap of the weekend. The fastest recorded race lap is 23 flat. That's by Cameron Beaubier back in 2020.
And check me here, Greg, because 23.6, yeah, it's only 2/10 off of Petrucci's qualifying time. So on this race tire that the number 9 is on, already seeing a bit of an improvement. He was only 2/10 off the fastest lap he's done all weekend.
So Gagne with a 1.1 second lead really over Petrucci. And then this battle for 3rd place. You can see Petrucci heading into the corkscrew with his leg off the bike with that special livery this weekend to commemorate Medallia as a partner. Their corporate headquarters just up the road. So for 3rd place right now, Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki getting after it. And Cameron Peterson, fresh and lean progressive Yamaha, after a tremendous save that could have seen him in the gravel trap. And right behind him, Westby Racing's Matthew Skoltz. The bike looks so much better.
It does look better for Matthew. I had a talk with him yesterday, and we actually just kind of had a bit of a laugh. As you see, Cam Peterson has gotten through on Richie Escalante. Going back to Skoltz, we had a bit of a laugh because I said, Matthew, tell me what's going on. I mean, it was 30 minutes after our telecast yesterday. He smiled at me, said, Jay, might be as bad as it's been for me as far as just trying to find that setup. But the Westby crew, we know those guys are going to continue to work hard for this guy, and they definitely have done that and made that bike look a little bit better in the early stages of this race.
So Cameron Peterson, after the save, works his way into third spot. Now he's got to set sights on Petrucci, but Petrucci's at least 1.5 seconds up the road. Cam P can see him, but now the question is there speed in the fresh and lean progressive Yamaha of Cam P?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew Schultz as well. I'm telling you, that dip in turn 6 can just throw you off. If you miss your mark just a little bit, it just changes the whole geometry of the bike, and you can see both Escalante and Schultz having trouble through there. Just to keep an eye on things, 23.9 that last time by our leader, 24 flat for Petrucci. So Danilo 1.2 back is definitely, and it was 0.8 on the first lap.
Yeah, exactly. So the gap's now grown to 1.3 seconds. Cam Peterson at 1.9. And the big deal is the mistakes that are being made all the while behind Gagne, who's, at least from our vantage point, had a mistake-free race so far. A good look at the gap with 16 to go. And now Schultz starting to find some rhythm, trying to reel in Richie Escalante, Hannah.
We've talked about this tire for Danilo Petrucci and the change to the softer compound. He said this morning he went a lot faster on it in the warm-up. Talking to the team, it's just a matter of finding that perfect setup balance to make sure that it will go the full race distance. He said it feels pretty unstable out of the corner, so if he's going to make up time to close this gap to Gagne, he knows he needs to do it on the brakes.
And the problem is here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, Jason, there isn't really a ton of places to break and make up a lot of time.
No, there is, when you talk about hard braking, you're talking turn 2, and you're talking to the spot where they're coming up to right now, up here into the corkscrew. Turn 5 you do as well, but this place, man, you got to flow around this place. There's a mistake right there from Petrucci, and you know, it sounds like a broken record. It's actually hard to call some of these races because you say the same things over, but it's that constant pressure. Gagne just doesn't make mistakes, and when you make a little mistake like Petrucci just made there in the corkscrew, it's another 2/10 that he's got to try to figure out a way to make back up. And you can't keep trying to make up seconds or half seconds on the brakes. It's an exhausting way to ride, and it's very difficult. So let's see what it is this time by. We're going 24.1 to 24.5, and just like that, it goes to 1.8 seconds, almost 2 seconds. I'm going to keep an eye on this gap between Cam Peterson and Danilo Petrucci, because right now it's at 1.7 with Cam going 2/10 quicker on that lap.
Yeah, and some of that time was made up in Sector 3 last lap by Cameron Peterson over Petrucci. As we look at this battle for 4th in terms of time, as Matthew Schultz trying to recover from that turn 6 incident where he ran off. We're looking really closely at the GSX-R 1000, though, of Richie Escalante. Jay, this is probably the best look we've had all season of Escalante.
I love it. Yeah, he's riding really, really well. And, you know, his teammate for the weekend, Kyle Wyman, running 8th in this race, who has also gone quicker than he did yesterday. So, you know, this team are working really hard to try to keep the progression of these Suzukis alive and keep them in the championship. And right now for Escalante, as you can see, is incredibly loose at the top of the corkscrew. What bike control that was. Still to be able to get that bike turned and tipped in, that shows he's got some confidence in the bike. But Schultz does look like he has a little bit of pace right now. Will he look down the inside of turn 10? Not quite. Escalante is very difficult to pass into braking as well, as he brakes so deep.
Turn 10 is a hold your breath kind of corner. You got to really commit to it. This
Schultz.
One right here into turn 11 is very typical. So Schultz with a nice move up the inside. Eases on by.
Escalante turned it back up underneath him, though, and Schultz is going to have to relinquish that. Let's see if he can do anything down in turn 2. As he's going to try to go around the outside of Escalante and make this work. Wow, what a pass by Matthew Schultz.
Is he going to be wide, though?
He makes it work. And you see that bike working in the middle of the turn? That's because he let off the lever there, carried that much extra corner speed that when the bike's loaded at the point where he's trying to tip it back to finish the corner, the rear of that bike's snapping around on it. But it still looks a lot better than yesterday, doesn't it?
Yeah, much more planted, especially from the rear end of the motorcycle.
He wouldn't have been able to do that yesterday, I don't feel. And here's another look at it, Greg. So he's carrying a lot of speed down in there, and he's trail braking off into it. And you're going to see the rear of the bike just move around as he tries to get that extra little bit of turn out the middle of that corner.
And considering that these two haven't had a lot of time to race against each other, it showed a lot of trust. Matthew Schultz had a lot of trust in Richie Escalante because the rear end of that GSX-R 1000 started to move around a little bit, but Escalante, knowing that Schultz was that close, kept it under control.
Well, after the bike handling skills that Escalante showed Schultz going into the corkscrew the previous lap, Schultz probably has some confidence in him for sure.
So your Superbike rookie, Richie Escalante, on that Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki, who is slated at the end of the season to come to this team and race in Supersport, finds himself on the Superbike, having a really good run this weekend at a racetrack he has a lot of confidence at. But it's all about this guy, Jake Gagne. For Gagne, your #1 plate, who had 17 wins of 20 last season in his breakout season here in Medallia Superbike. He's had 3 so far, Jay. He's had 6 total on the season. He's looking for #7. Now keep in mind, the season started off with Danilo Petrucci showing up on the scene fresh from MotoGP after years there, coming here to MotoAmerica as a MotoAmerica Medallia Superbike rookie, winning 3 right at the beginning, and then Gagne went on a 3 spree. Now he's back on another winning streak, and Gagne's looking perfect with this motorcycle.
The thing I remember about this year so far is this guy sitting underneath the canopy after he crashed out of race 1 at Road Atlanta, talking to Hannah and saying, I made a mistake today, and we got to just settle down, not let things get out of control. We got to just kind of get back to our program. There was nothing that shook him. He looked at it the same way he looks at the championship. He's like, we're just going to try to do better tomorrow. Came back the second day and was able to get that victory the second day. And then from that point on, he's had 5 more victories since. But again, on a day where he said to me in front of Cam Peterson, I'm expecting these guys to be closer to me today, to which Cam Peterson said, he says that every weekend.
And he does say it every weekend.
He does say it every weekend.
But that's part of when you talk to Jake Gagne, he does have all the racing scenarios that he thinks are going to be possible in his head. He works it out. And so he's got multiple plans. If this happens, that happens. Because when I saw him this morning and I said, what do you think? We know Petrucci's going to change the rear tire selection. He's going to have more pace up front. What if he gets you on the brakes? And he says, don't worry about it. I have a good bike under braking. I can fight back if Petrucci's going to throw that shot at me. So he's always thinking about the scenarios. But here comes Cameron Peterson, Jay.
Yeah.
So for Petrucci, the gap is closed to Cam Peterson to just about 0.8 of a second.
Yep.
So another.
Watch it come down.
Yeah, it's coming down for Petrucci. He's going to get that information, and he's going to get that on his pit board. We'll see if he's got an answer.
Well, the thing is that there's 2 riders right now still in the 24s. Jake Gagne and Cam Peterson. Gagne told me again today, he says, Jay, our plow, and Cam must have had a big moment in turn 6 there, because he's run really wide and given a lot of the distance that he made up. He's lost it again. Hannah?
Cam told me they made quite a bit of changes on the bike, a different link on the rear to make it a little easier to ride, especially for the end of the race. They did a long stint on the new setup this morning, and he said it felt much, much easier. He had fun battling yesterday, but he knows he made a couple mistakes in turn 2, so the goal for this race is to clean it up and not give Petrucci, if he gets around him, or anyone else a chance to take advantage.
Yeah, well, he's not clean today. There's no question about it.
Mistake, wasn't it? Greg?
Yeah. He's had that big save. I mean, his riding ability is unquestioned. Cam Peterson is extremely talented on a Medallia Superbike. But in this race, he looked a little bit different, a little bit more hectic, as the South Africans would say. And he's trying to tidy it up. But also, Jay, it's the same thing that riders have been talking about since we got here across all classes. Grip is at a premium, especially this deep in the race. Things are really hard to find. It's hard to find grip. Now, here's a couple teammates battling it out, Jay.
Yeah, Corey Alexander, Travis Wyman there, and it looked like, is it Hayden Gillum just behind them? So
Travis going up the inside.
Look how much room he gave Corey, too. They gave each other plenty of room there. So the 2 Tytler's teammates giving each other room through turn 2, and look at Hayden Gillum. So this is like watching the Stock 1000 race, isn't it? Between these 3 guys. Travis Wyman obviously won here last year in the Stock 1000 class. Corey was able to win this year. Hayden Gillum is always there. We've seen him win also. But Travis is going to sneak up underneath Corey into the turn 5. This is the battle right now for 9th, 10th, and 11th.
So they're having a great run at this Tytler's Cycles Ride HVMC team. There's 2 teams when you come here. There's 2 transporters. There is the Hector Barbara, PJ Jacobson team. They're on full-blown superbikes. They're running in 6th and 7th respectively. And then Kyle Wyman on the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki is between this battle with these 2 riders. Those semis usually parked together. Whether it's the Stock 1000 machine or the full-blown Superbike, This BMW M1000RR is something to behold. It's an absolute beauty. Oh, Skoltz with an issue.
Yeah.
So for Matthew Skoltz, he's dropped down to 7th position.
There was something, Greg, and it looks like he's got a left clip-on that's broken off. But
Crashed it.
He did crash it, yeah. And it looked like I saw a rider. When the riders were coming up in our shot up into turn 6, I thought I saw a rider off to our left-hand side of the screen with their arm up, almost like he did this in turn 5. But the bike looks way too good for it to be a turn 5 incident. Maybe it was at the top of the corkscrew, although that would seem weird too, because
we saw him on the inside.
Quick. Yeah, exactly.
And he was already dropping down the leaderboard as well.
Correct.
So this happened a little while ago. So unfortunately for Matthew Skoltz, for the Westby rider, who's 3rd in the championship right now, 22 points back from Petrucci at the beginning of this race, he's going to pull it into hot pit lane and park that motorcycle as Jake Gagne continues to lead the way. Petrucci 4.5 seconds now behind, and there is the number 11 pulling it into the pits. And another ding in the confidence of the very talented Matthew Skoltz.
Not only on this guy though, as Gagne comes through again, 24.6, and to finish a point earlier, this guy just said, I want to go out there and just do a bunch of 24s. That's what our goal is to try to make our bike be sustainable enough to run minute 24 pace for as long as we possibly can. And he was still doing 24s late in the race yesterday, doing 24.9, and he needed to because Petrucci and Cam Peterson were both doing the same. Now, when you see Petrucci come into your shot here, you're going to see Cam is continuing to close that gap again. 2 riders in the 24s, and they're both on R1s. The teammates Gagne and Peterson closing this gap now down to Petrucci, but they are both in the minute 24 bracket.
Please take me inside the head of Cameron Peterson, Jason. Here you have a race that he's had a couple big moments without question. How do you put that behind you and continue to charge forward?
Well, if I know Cam, he's probably, I think he's probably pretty vocal with himself underneath the helmet. And he's probably made those couple mistakes and said, all right, Cam, got to just settle yourself down a little bit. You got pace. Let's trust the bike. Let's trust what this team has put underneath us here and see if we can't start to close this gap down. For Petrucci, on the other hand, he knows that someone's on their way, and I think that kind of pressure, and you can see that bike snap around, that's the kind of pressure that you don't want to hear. You don't want to see your pit board go up to a 2-second lead and then all of a sudden be losing 0.3, 0.4 of a lap when you know somebody's on their way up to you. And right now, Cam Peterson is catching Petrucci pretty quickly. It's going to be another fast lap here for Cam, and he's on the back of Petrucci as they get ready to complete this lap with 8 to go.
If you're Cam Peterson and you're able to close up right on the tailpipe of Petrucci, do you take a breath and ride this thing out for a couple laps before you make your move?
Well, I just think it's a matter of if the door opens. You can see he runs a little bit wide there in the middle of turn 2. Sometimes, as the old saying goes, it's easy to catch somebody. It's a lot harder to pass them. And we saw these two yesterday have a big coming together up in the corkscrew with Petrucci running 3rd and making a big bid for that 2nd place. And it was the kind of racing that we like to see. It was great because both these guys were friendly with each other afterwards, had a laugh about it. Petrucci saying that I was just happy to see Cam stayed upright, and I was less happy when he went past me. So, I thought that was a really nice exchange between these guys. But with sort of 7.5 laps to go, we're going to see if Petrucci, who's now the hunted, isn't he?
He's the hunted, but also you could see the slight change in the body language. It looks like Petrucci got the pit board. He saw 0.4 as we saw on the screen, and so I think he's trying to answer and push a little bit harder. The problem is there's 7.5 laps to go. So if there's something going on with Petrucci, I know different tire choice, could be tire wear. It's really hard to say at this point because Peterson has arrived on the scene.
Yeah, he's there now, and for Cam, it's getting the bike slowed down. We've seen a couple mistakes down into turn 2. Even the last lap, I felt like he was a little bit wide and gave Petrucci some space. I really do feel, though, that Cam is much better from the top of the corkscrew down through Rainy Corner, so he closes some of that gap back up. Jake Gagne again, 24.9, 24.8 for Cam Peterson, 25 flat for Danilo Petrucci. Much tidier from Cam Peterson that time out of turn 2 and through the middle of it.
So Jake Gagne is leading the way. This is the battle for 2nd and 3rd place. Currently led by Danilo Petrucci on that Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati New York Panigale V4R. The Yamaha R1 behind him is fresh and lean Progressive Yamaha's Cameron Peterson in his first year on this team. And we have seen such tremendous improvement in the mental side of things and, of course, the racecraft from Cameron Peterson this year under the fine tutelage of his crew chief, Richard Stamboli.
Yeah, and there's a number of things that that Cam has got a lot better at this year. He just looks like a different guy even when you talk to him in the paddock. It's now the words that he says, I really truly believe that he believes the words he's talking about. And what happens to a young man like that is when you have a group of people around you that you gain trust in, it really does become like a family. And you trust those guys explicitly with everything that you can do. So as you can see here, he's having a look up underneath Petrucci, not quite close enough there into turn 11, but it's just made him mature as a rider in so many different ways.
Clicking off another lap. 6 to go now. Medallia Superbike, race number 2 here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. The battle we're watching is for second place between Danilo Petrucci and Cameron Peterson. 2 riders that have had vastly different career paths to get to this part of their career with these 6 laps to go at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Cam Peterson, couple mistakes, had a huge save early on the front end, down in turn number 2 to save it. Petrucci had a good first lap, kept Jake Gagne as honest as he possibly could, but now being the hunted. Cameron Peterson's going to school on Petrucci, trying to figure out where he's going to make his move, because Jason, Petrucci always fights back. So it's not just a matter of where can I pass him, it's where can I pass him so he can't fight back a couple corners later. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's going to be the thing, is it's where's Cam going to line him up. You can see when they come through the corkscrew here, Cam has pace down through this little section of the racetrack. It's crucial spots. It's not always the easiest place to pass. You can set somebody up out of turn 9 here down into turn 10. But maybe at turn 11 this lap, he's close enough right now to think about trying to do something with him. As you can see, get a look at Gagne's gone through on Jack Backen now as they come onto that front straightaway. The number 1, click say he was 25.3 the last time through, and this lap here, the guys behind him 25.1, 25.3 for them as well. But it looked like Cam was close enough going down into turn 11 that last time.
Yeah, but I just wonder if Cam P is looking forward, saying, look, I don't have the pace to chase down Gagne right now, because we know Gagne is circulating at 25.3. He's done 23.4. So he's nearly 2 seconds a lap slower than his fastest lap of the race. So I'm not going to chase him down. Why put all the tire energy to try to check out on Petrucci?
Look at Petrucci's bike. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's seeing what we're not seeing up close. He knows that there's certain areas where Petrucci's going to struggle. And maybe Cam Peterson's thinking to himself, all right, look, there's 5 laps to go here. Where's Petrucci going to make a mistake if he's going to make one? Yeah. And then I can take advantage of it, and then I can put less at risk to get by him.
One of the things as a rider, following a rider, you know, you can really see what their bike, what their suspension's doing, how the tire's reacting as they roll the throttle on. And the thing that's a bummer right now for Petrucci is his bike is snapping underneath him, which means that it's not just sliding. He can't really control the slide because the bike has so much movement. Look at the pace that Cam P has all the way down, again, from that top of the corkscrew down here into turn 11, and Petrucci's already staying guarded. You can see how much he's guarding the inside of the track going into turn 11, and the drive out, and especially in the flat corners, it'll be interesting to see this time through.
So Cameron Peterson gets that information too, Jay, by the way, that he's got over an 8-second gap back behind him. So that's going to be a comfort in terms of how you're going to set up your strategy to pass as well.
Yep, and these are the turns that we're talking about, the flat ones. I want to see how Petrucci's bike comes out of turn 3 this time, because when he came out of turn 4, the bike was snapping around underneath him. And so that's what we're going to look for out of this next right-hander, and see if that's any better controlled this time. It's a little better, but you see how much he's making an effort to get that bike up on the center part of the tire, can't you?
Yeah, you certainly can. There's definitely a lot of wheel spinning there from Danilo Petrucci's Ducati. So Petrucci still in second place. Cam Peterson gone to work on him. The question for us is if it can happen. If it does, when is it going to happen? So Gagne continues to lead. Now the gap up to 5.9 seconds. Richie Escalante in 4th place after the exit of Westby Racing's Matthew Skoltz. Hector Barbera having another good day on the Tytler Cycles BMW at 3.8 behind Escalante in 5th place, with his teammate PJ Jacobson adrift a couple more seconds. Both those riders talking about struggling with grip once the tires start to lose a little bit of that grip, setting up the motorcycle, continuing to build that team. Then you have Kyle Wyman in 7th, Travis Wyman, Corey Alexander, and Hayden Gillum still battling it out ahead of the veteran Larry Pegram back for a couple of races. David Anthony, Yates, Ezra Bobier, and Brandon Posh in 15th spot.
Ducati definitely seems to open up a bit of a gap over Cam Peterson from the exit of 11 to up over the hill into turn 2. All pretty even through this little area here, but Cam's bike looks really solid still, doesn't it, underneath him as far as grip goes. So, you know, he's counting these laps down. He's got 2.5 laps to go. And look at the run he can get on him even in this area coming down into turn 5. So Petrucci tipping it in pretty early, trying to close that door to where Peterson can't go through on him. So Cam's gonna have to try to figure out a way. Does he do it in the corkscrew for a little revenge payback pass yesterday? That's the question.
I don't know. That is a good question. And if you do it like that, where are you going to do it? Yeah. Something tells me, Jason, that I think Cameron Peterson, as he comes down this hill, the less risky move is going to be trying it in 11. The problem is that Petrucci has the ability to go in so tight, and the strength of the Ducati is the acceleration. Yeah, so if he holds it tight and doesn't quite have the run on him, he can still get the squirt off the corner. But here goes Cam P. The door was open for a moment. Not quite close enough. I don't think that was the moment that Cam Peterson wanted that. Of course, a little mistake by Cameron Peterson on the gas.
He's going to lose some time here. You can see that gap has opened up over the top of the hill. But like you say, it's that grunt out of turn 11, right?
It certainly is. Now the gap, 6 seconds between your leader, Jake Gagne, in second place, Danilo Petrucci, with Cameron Peterson hanging tight. And you can see in the left part of your screen there that there are some comfortable gaps between 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, respectively. Back in that field, the battle continues to rage between Wyman, Alexander, and Hayden Gillum. So, Jason, here we go.
Man.
Lap and a half to go. Cameron Peterson has done the work, but there was a bit of a mistake on acceleration coming onto the final front straightaway, the final corner last lap. How much tire does Cameron Peterson have underneath him? Petrucci's been able to run his pace.
Yep. Got the rear wheel off the ground early that time to Cam getting up into the corkscrew, so maybe he's ramping up for one last run. I mean, Greg, he's only got a lap and a half or a lap and a quarter to go, so whatever he does, it's going to have to be something spectacular here on the last lap. I haven't really seen anywhere where it's a big enough move or an easy enough move to where it could not be a big move. So they come into turn 11 again. He's got to get a good run out of here. As you see the white flag displayed for your race leader, Jake Gagne, and here's that battle for second as they come across the line. Where's Cam Peterson thinking about doing this? Is there something that we haven't seen that is significantly better than Petrucci at? So maybe going into 5?
Maybe going into 5. That would be a bit of a surprise. Ooh, a little bit front end for Cameron Peterson. He couldn't quite carve the corner.
100% right there, G-Dub. I noticed the same thing. He couldn't quite get through there, and he has to be close enough out of this next right to think about doing anything to Petrucci, and I don't think he's close enough.
I'm not sure Cam Peterson has the confidence in the front tire right now. We've seen the front go early on in this race. We've seen him make a mistake in turn number 6, and just these little movements here or there. We know Cam P's not going to be satisfied with it, and coming up,
I mean,
is the corkscrew.
Just saying, right? But he's not close enough here either, G-Dub. I mean, we saw Danilo do it from a long way back yesterday, but this is twice that distance. So I don't think it's going to happen up into here as Cam gets in there extremely deep, and you can see Petrucci gets in. Oh, Cam gets shot up over the seat.
He did.
He just could get there, but he couldn't quite do anything with Petrucci once he did. Turn 11's his last shot. But he's not far. He's not close enough, G-Dub.
I think for Cameron Peterson, he's done a lot of work, but he's going to have to settle for second spot unless something miraculous happens here. But for this guy, Jake Gagne, coming onto the front straightaway, takes the checkered flag and another win. Medallia Superbike race number 2. And Danilo Petrucci will hold on to second place with Cameron Peterson in third. And that also means that with that win, Jake Gagne will take over the championship points lead for the first time this season. And how about Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki's Richie Escalante, who will come across the line and score another 4th place finish on the weekend. And there is 1 and 2 in the championship. And Gagne with another dominating performance. And a look at the laps.
Yeah.
And again, it's the same thing. It's that second lap is fastest, and then the consistency, the pressure from lap 3 to lap 7.
Yeah, it's impressive. When you go 23.4 in the heat of the day, and you consider that Gagne went 23.4 in qualifying.
Yeah,
so he basically
with a qualifying tire on.
With a qualifying tire on, he basically matched his time from qualifying on a race tire when it was the hottest part of the day. So what can you say? New points leader, on a roll, on a run right now. Escalante again, amazing. With Barber, Jacobson, Wyman, Alexander, and Anthony round out the top 10.
First lap, turn 6, Jake Gagne. We'll talk to him when we return in a moment.
Jake Gagne stands on top of his Yamaha machine there, the number 1. He waves to the crowd. It's another win. And the new leader of the Medallia Superbike Championship is Jake Gagne. He takes a 3-point lead in the championship. And there are a lot of fans down here in Parc Fermé who I think may have just enjoyed that one. Am I right? I think they can do a lot louder. Let's try that again. Come on, Laguna Seca. That is the final race of the day. Jake Gagne, our new points leader. As you can tell, there's a lot of excitement down here, and one of the beauties of the MotoAmerica Championship is that the fans can get up close and personal to our podium finishes in every single race. So in a few moments' time, as Jake makes his way up to the corkscrew, he's going to come down through Rainy Curve, and he is going to receive the applause and the accolades, not just of his team, but also of the fans. You see there on the hillside, we've had a bumper crowd here this weekend. Jake goes across on the side of the corkscrew, and full appreciation for Jake Gagne. Let's not forget that in the first 3 races of the 2022 season, Jake Gagne scored 0 points, and now as we end the first weekend in the second half of the season, he is the new points leader. Travis Wyman will be happy to get another top 10, coming home ahead of his teammate Corey Alexander. He gives a little wave to the crowd. There in the background is Ashton Yates. Another few points for Ashton and the Scheibe Racing BMW team. First bike, though, down here is the Ducati of Danilo Petrucci. And Danilo Petrucci is just pulling into Parc Fermé on my right-hand side. Geraldo Ferracci, one of the first to congratulate him. Paolo Ciabatti now, also Giovanni Krupi coming along and saying congrats to him. And 20 points in that championship. It's all still to play for. There you can see Geraldo and Paolo Ciabatti. And I'll try and give you a bit of a rundown of what else is going on. It's very congested down here. Here comes Cameron Peterson, and I'm sure the fans are happy to see him back on the podium as well. The progressive, fresh and lean attack Yamaha, and a nice round of applause as he now comes in. He gives a little wave to the crowd as well. Richie Stamboli down there, he's just talking to Cam, who's still got the helmet on. Wonder whether I'm good enough time. I don't know how much time I've got, guys, but 1:20. Paolo, very quickly, if I can. Paolo, a solid second place there for Danilo.
Yeah, obviously it's a little bit better than yesterday. Still, we're struggling a little bit with traction, but it was a good race. He could have the cam, which was coming very strong, so we're still very close in the points, so let's go to the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Paolo. Let's go to the next round, which is in Brainerd. Here comes Cam Peterson. Another 16 points. Gets congratulations from Mark Gagne. That's Jake's dad, giving him congrats. But here is the man of the moment, the new championship leader. Jake Gagne has made his way down into Parc Fermé, and the crowd behind me going absolutely crazy for Jake Gagne. He comes in. Richie Stamboli gives him congratulations. You can see there the pictures on the TV screen. Tom Halverson from Yamaha is down there as well. And another double victory, another 1-3 for Yamaha. And Danilo Petrucci, just 3 points now is the deficit, but it's Gagne that will head to Brainerd in a couple of weeks' time as the new points leader. Remember, of course, that you can follow us on our social media. MotoAmerica on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. MotoAmerica.com is the official website of the championship. It's been an absolutely fantastic weekend, and none more so than for Jake Gagne. We are going to get ready then to hand back up to Greg and Jason. Here we go. Take it away, boys.
What a weekend under the California sun as Jake Gagne comes into Parc Ferme winner's circle area to congratulate his crew and thank his crew. Let's take a look at those results. 5.5 seconds of margin of victory over Danilo Petrucci. Cameron Peterson, a couple big moments on the front end of the motorcycle, 6 seconds. Escalante and Hector Barbaro. Let's get down to Hannah with our race winner.
Jake Gagne does the double once again here at Laguna Seca. Jake, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned you were hoping for more longevity out of the tire. I just saw you talking to one of our Dunlop representatives. How was that bike feeling underneath you toward the end of that race?
It was good, man. You know, we improved this Yamaha today, the couple little changes we made yesterday. I knew everybody would step it up today. I was expecting a good fight today, so I knew if I got off to a good start, I had to go. But I'm just stoked on that race. I'm stoked that we kept getting this Yamaha rolling. We went faster than yesterday, faster for longer, and just hats off to this fresh and lean progressive attack performance Yamaha. These guys work so hard. Again, bummer Corn Dog's not here. We miss you, man, but thanks for all the help, and all the guys really stepped up. And like I said, that one made me stoked. I had a lot of fun riding with the little improvements we made yesterday, and yeah, got off to a great start again. And I didn't see anybody come up the inside, so that was a breath of relief after a couple of laps, and I just put my head down. And again, hats off to all the guys. Hats off to this everybody here at Laguna Seca. This place is packed, and again, we say it all the time, we wouldn't be here without you guys, so we love you all, and we'll see you next year.
Congrats, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first lap, the pressure he puts on, and it seemed like people were a little closer, right? It was 1/10 of a second faster, the field. I mean, than yesterday, but let's get right back down to Hannah.
Stretching it, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Second place today goes to Danilo Petrucci. He's just wrapping up with our Dunlop reps here. Danilo, what control were you able to have over the motorcycle on that softer compound tire as Cam Peterson was putting pressure on you?
Yeah, I had a good start, but not good as Jake. I tried to stay with him, but the first 3 laps I have traction, but the front is really shaking and moving. Cannot really trust the bike. Then I start to lose traction, and it's impossible to follow Jake. And also Cam was coming closer and closer and closer, and I had to manage for 12, 13 laps just to stay up, because when I try to push more, my front is closing, and I lose the rear and make some mistakes. So we definitely need to make a step. And but anyway, I would like to thank first of all the people that are here watching. It's really nice to race in Laguna in front of so many people. And to my team that is working hard, we will be for sure again on the top step. And also congratulations to Jake and Cam. I think we did a good show, and I want to fight with them till the end of the season.
You heard it here. He's not giving up just yet, guys.
No, and he wants to be on top step of the podium, and why not? I mean, he tasted it the first 3 races, and he knows he's got the speed, but folks at Ducati and his team are hard at work to try to make this bike as competitive as possible. Right back down to Hannah.
Third place today goes to Cameron Peterson. A moment there at the beginning of the race kind of left you to catch up. Where were you able to find some time, and where were you looking for an opportunity to hopefully make a move on Petrucci at the end there?
Yeah, you know, I was hoping for a little bit more today, but that mistake early on the race really hurt me. But I was happy I was able to reel him back in. You know, towards the end of the race, I was really good through the last 2 corners, and I was trying to line it up, and yeah, I just wasn't able to do anything. You know, I struggled a little bit towards the end there, but all in all, a positive weekend. You know, I learned a bunch this weekend, and felt like we closed the gap a little bit. You know, so looking forward to the rest of the season. Once again, massive thanks to the whole Fresh and Lean Attack Yamaha Progressive team. I mean, having so much fun, and thank you to everybody for coming out. Seeing this amount of people is pretty damn cool. So we'll see you next year, and look forward to the next half of the season.
A great weekend for Cameron Peterson at his home track.
Yeah, and, you know, just keeps learning more and more and more, and that's the thing. And, Jay, you know, you're looking warm up this morning, and he was really close to his teammate Jake Gagne. We'll have more coverage from Medallia Superbike race number 2 when we come back.
Seventh win in the last 9 races, after not winning any of the first 3, puts him back in the lead by 3. The other story is Cameron Peterson, with Scholz's issues, is now just a few points out of the 3rd place in the points.
Yeah, you know, Cam is really coming on strong right now. He could have got even 2nd today. I thought he was. He made up a lot of time, and then he made a mistake, and just kind of, I think he just ran out of tires a little bit. You know, it just seemed like he was moving around quite a bit, having some big moments, and you know, he did have to kind of work pretty hard early in the race to close that gap on Danilo, and maybe used up his stuff a little bit. But what a great ride by Cam, and also Jake Gagne. I mean, well, I know we say the same stuff over and over, but he keeps doing the same thing. Gets a good start and gets up to speed right away, and you know, breaks the boys early.
Well, and you know, when Jake has that kind of speed right off, you've got to get a better start than he does. And this is twice. He started inside where you know, he could be pinched, you know, back 3rd spot, and both times by the time they got to that sort of pinch point, he was clear of everybody already.
Or just try to get the best start possible, and just, you know, take a shot. You know, try to make a pass. I mean, don't take him out, but you know, try to take a shot early.
Absolutely. How about Richie Escalante? I mean, yes, they were a couple of opportunistic 4th place finishes, but when he got up there, he stayed right with them for a long time. I think this could be a breakout race for Richie here.
It really is. I mean, even yesterday was good, and he just keeps getting closer. And I think that's all you can ask for now. He's only 17 seconds off the win, and that's as closest as he's been. And I think he's just going to keep getting closer as he starts building. And now, you know, with this race pace and getting a run with those guys early in the race like he did today, I think he gets to learn a lot. And you know, he's 11 seconds from the podium. And he just keeps, hopefully next race can get that gap to both of those even shorter.
And then lastly, obviously, a huge woulda, coulda, shoulda weekend for Matt Scholz. But all in all, just a fabulous race.
Medallia Superbike coverage is sponsored by Medallia, the pioneer in customer and employee experience. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by GEICO, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance.
The podium celebrations yet again for Jake Gagne as he gets to stand on top of the box. We've got a lot of those trophies this year, Jay, and this is how it all unfolded.
Yep, they can't stop him, can they? He just gets good starts and runs away, puts in that amazing first few laps. You can see Cam Peterson trying to do his best here in 3rd. Petrucci with a great start, puts himself into 2nd, and probably thought to himself, okay, I'm going with this guy. But then we had 2 big moments.
Yikes.
One there where he gets it off with his elbow, does Cam Peterson as well as Scholz. Peterson starts making a charge back to the front, goes by Escalante, as does Scholz. Scholz goes to go by Escalante as well. Scholz would later on tip off somewhere, Greg. As you can see, this is coming up into the corkscrew, so we'll try to find out where that ended up happening. Cam Peterson was able to get to the back of him, but he just couldn't do anything with him once he got there. That early race, or that early mistake, really put a dent in Cam Peterson's run today. But again, got a new championship points leader. A guy who's familiar with being there. He's on a roll. G-Dub. Gagne wins again.
So for Jake Gagne, another great victory, and his teammate gets to stand on the box as well. Our coverage continues on the other side of this break.
Introducing Champ U from Yamaha Champions Riding School. Champ U brings you the skills taught at our 2-day in-person Champ School program and delivers it to you in a flexible, easy-to-use online format at a fraction of the price. Become a more confident rider with 40 videos, 30 drills, and 40 quizzes created by our world-class instructors. Each one is designed to give you more control over your motorcycle so you can safely have more fun on the road or track. Get it today for our intro price of just $49.95.
Time to start eating better? If only it were that easy. Fresh and Lean thinks it is. We make the food you love with meals conveniently delivered to your door, made with fresh organic ingredients. So if you're looking to eat healthier, we got you. Meals ready to heat and eat in under 3 minutes. So wherever life takes you this year, you'll be ready. Now how easy is that? Fresh and Lean, feed your potential.
fight for the rights of riders every day. We give back millions to support the motorcycle community because we are riders, and motorcycle law is all we do. If you go down, call Russ Brown, Motorcycle Attorneys.
And I think another aspect here, Roger, of this weekend, you know, the racing obviously is always phenomenal here, but even the riders were alluding to the size of the crowd here, the energy of the crowd here, the reception they were getting on their cool down laps at the end of the races. This place is packed, and the riders clearly loving it.
It is packed, and it's just great to see so many people, you know, coming here to support MotoAmerica, all the bikes, and even pulling into the track. You know, it's been a lot of years since I had to stop and wait in line, you know, with so many guys pulling in.
All right, let's get back to Greg White and Jason Pridmore.
Oh, yeah. It's over for us from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, JP, but I'm going to miss this place. Great race action. Love coming here. Iconic place.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect this year, and all the campsites were sold out, which is great. A lot of people up in the hills. Get a look at our championship point standing sheet up.
Only a couple races left in this season for us. Jake Gagne now with the points lead. 3 over Danilo Petrucci. Cameron Peterson now ahead of Matthew Skoltz by 5 in the championship. So, big turn of events. Jason, in the years that you and I have been around racing, this particular racetrack, this time of the year, always seems to be a defining moment, a championship definition of some sort that turns the tides.
It's a historical place, and I think things happen like that, but it's taken this guy 9 races to get himself back up to the front in the points. He's done it. It's going to take some stopping.
Well, we certainly enjoyed having you along with us. And don't forget, we're going to Brainerd International Raceway July 29th through the 31st. This championship is crazy right now. You make sure you want to get there. If not, we'll see you then for sure. So for Hannah Lopa and Jason Pridmore, I'm Greg White. Thanks for watching Medallia Superbike race number 2. We'll see you soon.